So with Storm, guys, being with me on this, and being featured on this episode of the Phase 5 show, I thought it would be really cool to kind of pick his brain about, with designing and such. Look, this is a guy, like I said, was in the Call of Duty trick shotting and sniping community and design community for a long time, guys. He's planning on getting back into this community, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. But I wanted to kind of, like I said, pick his brain on, as far as from a designing perspective, how to start. And he can kind of give some of you out there, if you're into designing, you're trying to get started, you're trying to get better at designs, maybe a couple of tips and tricks on how you guys can get, better overall. You can maybe get some of those things here from Storm. So Storm, take it away. Give everyone, all of the up-and-comer, designers, some advice, some things that helped you kind of get to where you are right now.
Okay, so one of the first things I'd like to say is don't take stuff to heart. A lot of people are going to shit on you. A lot of people are going to tell you that your designs aren't good enough. A lot of people are going to tell you they're just going to like be a bit of a dick about it. But what you need to do is you need to listen to the people who are giving constructive criticism and learn the difference between people that are being assholes and people that are actually giving you constructive criticism. So if someone says, I don't like this design, but I feel like you could improve it by upping the saturation or putting this here or maybe adding a little bit of this, then that's constructive criticism. Just because they don't like it doesn't mean that they're being mean to you. If they straight up say, this is horrible, it's the worst thing I've seen all year, then they're being a bit of a dick and you shouldn't listen to them. Another thing is, um, look at tutorials, and I know it's like a very basic thing, but there's a lot of tutorials out there, and don't be afraid to be inspired. I feel like a lot of people are scared about copying designers. I know when I started, I didn't copy, but I did get inspired heavily by a few designers, and that's okay as long as you're not like fully taking. If for example someone makes a design and it's Marvel themed, but it's in a very specific like style, and then you get inspired but do it with a different character or something like that. Don't fully take credit for that if it's not your idea. It's okay to be inspired, but there's a difference between being inspired and straight ripping someone off. Um, and I feel like that's a really good way to start by being inspired by people. And even if you're trying to even one thing that I'd actually say is try and copy a design, but don't make it public. Don't just because you design something doesn't mean you have to share it. So what you could do is you could pick a design from a designer that you really like and that you look up to and that inspires you to design, and you can take their piece of work and be like, okay, I'm going to try and make this myself as good as I can, and then you might be able to make it, you might not. But then if there's a certain thing that he's done in it that you want to do, you can easily find a tutorial on how to do that specific thing. Um, Also, don't limit yourself. Don't back in the day, in like trick shotting and stuff, like in the trick shotting teams, a lot of people would um limit themselves and say, I'm a 2D designer, I'm a 3D designer, or I do social media, I do advertisements. And I feel like that's very negative. I try to do all types of designs because I feel like that just kind of makes you more desirable as a designer and as an artist. Um, and at the moment, me personally, I'm leaning more towards 3D because that's what I'm trying to learn and be better at. And it's okay to have a main focus of your design work, but try and dabble in everything and try and learn as many skills because you might have a client or a team come to you and say, I want you to design a logo. But if you've never designed a logo before, you might not be able to do it perfectly. You might not be able to do it how they want it. And that one person might then talk to other people and tell them that you're not worth going to. Um, and the thing is reputation. Another thing, reputation can always be fixed, um, as long as you haven't like done anything really bad. Um, Reputation can easily be fixed, and you can just keep trying. And not everyone starts off being a good designer, um, and it's it does take some talent, but a lot of it is like can be taught, and there's a lot of brilliant things out there. For example, um, Skillshare. I've used that a couple times. I know that a lot of people can. There's promotions where you can get 3 months for free, but then if you cancel your account, you get another 3 months for free. So you get like 6 months free Skillshare, which is pretty amazing. YouTube's full of it. Um, and a lot of designers, if you're nice and dicks, sometimes when I was learning 3D especially, there was a couple people that were doing a lot of like renders, and I really liked the look of them, and I wanted some advice about lighting, and wanted opinions on my work that I was creating. So I just messaged them on Twitter, and they came back and they were really, really nice about it. And I feel like some designers are going to be like dicks, and they are going to be like up their own arse, and they are going to think that they're amazing. But a lot of designers are really nice and do want to help other people. There are some people who are really protective about the designs that they do, but a lot of people, like myself, I really want to help as many people as possible. And if anyone comes to me and asks me how I did a certain thing, I'll tell them, and I'll tell them what programs I recommend, what plugins I recommend. Um, and another thing that I'd recommend is, I know that a lot of designers coming in to the community are going to be pirating software, uh, and I think that a lot of designers are like guilty for that. But what I'd say is, um, try any way to get it legit as possible, because it will help you a lot. For example, if you can get it through your school or your education, um, or if you can do like Adobe Creative Cloud and get Photoshop as a subscription monthly, um, I genuinely say it's worth it, because for me, I did feel like kind of bad. I did feel bad, and I did feel guilty for having all of this pirated software. But at the same time, I now own all of my software, um, and I feel like it's a better way to do designs, and it's a more professional way to do designs. Um, Another thing I'd say is stay active on social media. Post designs, ask for opinions, um, do some like self promo. For example, when I used to do YouTube, I used to do a lot of giveaways for my designs, because I thought that if I gave away designs, more people would see them, more people would like them, more people would want them. And I also used to do like little fun wages, like I used to do videos like trick shot race for a rebrand, where if the person won and hit a trick shot first, then they would get a full redesign, like a logo, a banner, Twitter header, everything. Um, and I feel like using social media and promoting yourself is a very good thing that a lot of people, for some reason, still don't do. Um, have a portfolio. Make sure that your portfolio is marketed towards the type of people you want to be involved with. For example, if it's trick shot and gaming based, make it a gaming portfolio with a lot of gaming based designs. And a couple websites that are really good is, if you want in, I used to use Behance a lot. Behance was really good. Um, and another good place to like upload your design work is Dribble. Dribble you have to be invited to, I think, still. But a lot of people do give away Dribble invites, and it's a basketball themed design website, and that's more professional if you want, and more like UI based, and more like uh, I'm not sure how to say it, but it's like it's more professional, and it's more like clean looking, and I feel like that's very much for like professional and people that are wanting to get more into like the professional side of design. Um, but then there's all these different like sub communities on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook. All these websites have like really, really good like groups. Um, and I found it really helpful when I was in like Call of Duty teams to have a group of designer friends. Uh, so I had a friend called Fishy, or who changed his name to Who, but he knows who he is. And me and him were like best friends, and we were both designers, and we were in all these different teams together. And he'd learned something that I think was cool, and he'd teach me. I'd learn something and teach him, and we both like teach each other stuff. And I feel it's very good to like bounce ideas off of people and have a support network there that you can trust. And like if he linked me a design and I thought it was horrible, I'd tell him that it was horrible and that he could improve it like this, and I know that he would do the same to me. um so yeah, I think don't take anything to heart is, I want to like reiterate that, don't take anything to heart, and make sure that you're doing what you enjoy, and don't feel like you have to make a design that you don't enjoy. And not everything has to be perfect, and just keep working at it, and make sure that you can just, if you want to make it a career, try and make the best moves you can, and try and get as far as you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's my advice.
Right, yeah, and I look, guys. There's three words that have taught me everything. Just keep creating. At the end of the day, guys, for me at least, when it comes to content creation, I just tell people to just keep uploading, just keep making videos. And the way that you get good at something is just by doing it over and over again. I wasn't really great at talking to the camera, years ago. It took time, it took effort. Storm was not always great at making designs. It's just the sheer amount of, designs you create, and you get better and better. You kind of look at what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you can do better moving forward. And we talk about this all the time on the YouTube channel, and you implement and you exploit those things that you're doing wrong, and you try to turn those into rights. And over time, guys, you're gonna get better at it. It's like playing a video game. It's like playing a sport. The more you play, the better you get. It just comes with it. It's like that muscle memory. It's like that, just over time, the hours clocked into something, the more that you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. And so for me, with designing, it's like, even though it's totally different than, say, creating content, at the end of the day, you're creating something. So just keep creating, guys. That's the biggest thing, whether you're trick shotting, whether you're sniping, whether you're a designer in the community, whatever it is that you do, just keep doing whatever it is that you do, and try to do it and try to change things as you go to kind of make it, make your experience better, or make, just your work better. It's an unbelievable thing, guys, over time, just what you can accomplish. And these are, what Storm was saying is great, advice for those of you going for the Phase 5 recruitment challenge as a designer. If you're trying to just do a ton of designs, try and do some speed arts, whatever it is that you're trying to do to get into Phase, like doing things like that, going ahead and creating, a ton of designs and such, even if not all of them are the highest standard for you, just create a lot of designs, and use the ones that are your best work when you're trying to, get into a team like Phase. And even if you don't get into Phase, someone else might see your work and you might get into a different team. You just never know. So just keep creating, guys. And with that, guys, I want to, like I said, I think it's really important that you guys know that. Let us know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think it takes to be a great designer in the community? Let me know. And for more design content and videos, stay here with Xero TV.